I remember when I started appreciating writing was also about the same time when I started picking up books. Hi everyone, I'm Swetha. My pronouns are she and her. I'm currently living in the Bay Area, California, originally from the southern part of India. I am a children's author. I have two books, The Hungry Crow and Sid Asks Why. They're both Indian folk tales and they're both board books. Through my books, my mission is to bring cultural awareness to young children by focusing on folk tales from around India. And I also hope that my books help children cultivate the love for reading, just like I loved reading when I was a kid. My earliest memory of writing was in English class. We were asked to write essays based on a topic, and I didn't like this format one bit because I didn't like to confine to a specific topic. I wanted to write whatever I felt like writing. So I remember when I started appreciating writing was also about the same time when I started picking up books. I saw reading as a leeway into my imagination, stepping into the unknown, a repository of knowledge. And I remember when I started reading Harry Potter, I saw that the author had so much imagination, and honestly, like a lot of kids were impacted by Harry Potter series. So that's when I realized the power of writing, and I also wanted to write, not necessarily fiction, but I started writing to reflect on my thoughts and more as a form of journalism. So I remember when I was a teenager, I went through a phase where I was really into music. I picked up an instrument, I started singing, and I also started writing. So I wrote songs, lyrics, and I would sing them to the tune of the songs that I liked, and I would sing them to my parents, to my friends, in my class. And I really enjoyed this part because I got to express what I wanted to. I got to play with words, and it just let out a lot of creativity in me, and it was a great way to express myself. I would say keep writing, but also keep reading. I feel like reading is very important for you to know the different types of writing. What kind of authors do you enjoy? What kind of pieces do you enjoy? So, read a lot and try to adapt the different formats to your style. And I'd also say give your writing for peer review. So give it to your friend, your parent, your teacher, someone you know will give you honest feedback, because that's one of the key to improve your writing. And third piece of advice would be write with a group of people. So seek out writers groups in your area, maybe in your school, and a lot of learning also happens peer to peer. So I would advise reach out to your fellow writers. All right, cut.
That was awesome. That was really good.